Okay, so first we will write the given data. Can you tell me what type of cycle this is? Which is the air standard cycle? By reading the statement. There is one line given in the statement itself. What is that? The specific heat at a constant volume. Specific heat at a constant volume. So it is nothing but what? The heat is getting added at the constant volume. So what will be the cycle? Which is the cycle over here which takes place? The heat addition at a constant volume is Otto cycle. Is nothing but Otto cycle. Okay. So first what I will be doing? I will be drawing a PV diagram for the Otto cycle. Okay. So I have drawn the pressure and volume on y and x axis respectively. Now we know that suppose I am taking, this is the point number 1. Okay, this is the point number 1. So the first cycle is the compression, that is the isentropic compression 1 to 2. Okay, then 2 to 3 is nothing but what? The constant volume heat addition. 2 to 3 is what? Constant volume heat addition. Then there is the expansion from 3 to 4, which is the isentropic, and 4 to 1 is what? The heat rejection. So this is what the Q added, this is what the Q rejected. Okay, so this is what the PV diagram I have drawn. Okay, now what we will do, again we'll go back to the given data and we will note down the data one by one. Okay, so as given in the statement, a petrol engine of a compression ratio 6. So here compression ratio is given, the notation for compression ratio is R, that is equal to 6, and the compression ratio we know that it is nothing but what? The V1 by V2. It is nothing but what? The V1 by V2, that is total volume upon clearance volume. Okay, so this in the PV diagram, if I want to show, this is what the VC and this is what the swept volume Vs. Okay, that is from this particular length. Now C plus Vs is the total volume, divided by Vc is nothing but the compression ratio. So that compression ratio I have written over here. Okay, then the next they are saying that compression ratio 6 uses a fuel of a calorific value 44,000 kilojoule per kg. So they have given the calorific value Cv is equal to 44,000 kilojoule per kg. Okay, then the next data is given as, so the air fuel ratio is 15:1. Next is AF ratio, that is 15:1. Then the temperature and pressure of the charge at the end of suction stroke. So can you tell me at what point this temperature and pressures are given? We know that the suction stroke, this is nothing but what? The atmospheric pressure line. Already we have discussed this part, atmospheric pressure. Then this is nothing but the suction stroke over here, 0 to 1. So at the end of suction stroke, that is nothing but the point number 1. Okay, so at point number 1 they have given temperature and pressure. So I will be writing like T1 is equal to and P1 is equal to. So T1 from statement it is given as a 60 degree. I will convert this to the Kelvin, that is equal to 333 Kelvin. I added 273, and pressure given as a 1 bar. Pressure as 1 bar, which is nothing but the atmospheric pressure. Next, what they are saying, that determine the maximum pressure in the cylinder. Now, if you observe this PV diagram, can you tell me at what point I will be getting the maximum pressure? That is nothing but the pressure at point 3. So I need to find out the pressure at point 3. So what is the pressure at point number 3? That is what I need to get it. Okay, next they are saying if the index of compression is 1.32. so index of compression, that is a value of N, that is 1.32, it is given, and the specific heat at a constant volume is expressed by the relation. So specific heat at a constant volume is given as Cv is equal to 0.71 plus 20 into 10 raised to minus 5 T. Okay, So it is in terms of temperature given. Okay, it is in terms of temperature given with a unit as kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Okay, where T is the temperature in Kelvin. Compare this value with that of a constant specific heat. So we need to compare the value of a maximum pressure when it is remaining constant as a 0.71 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Okay, now what is the statement given over here? Basically we need to find out what the maximum pressure, that is P3, that we need to calculate, and that pressure first we need to calculate for the varying what we can say the specific heat with the temperature T, and at a constant specific heat which is given as a 0.71 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Okay, so this is what the entire problem is. Now we'll see how to go for the solution of this particular problem. In this particular PV diagram, I want to find out the pressure at point 3. So suppose if I am able to get the pressure temperature at various salience point like point number 1, point 2, point 3, or rather point 1, point 2, if I am getting the pressure and temperature, then I can easily get the pressure and temperature at point number 3. Okay, so that is what the problem is. So first I'll find what will be the pressure temperature at point 1, but that is given in the numerical in the statement itself. I'll find what is the pressure and temperature at point number 2. Okay, if I am getting pressure and temperature at point 2, I can get the pressure and temperature at point 3. Now I know that the process 2 to 3 is the heat addition process. Okay, process 2 to 3 is the heat addition process. So I'll be applying the equation of heat addition between point 2 and 3, between point 2 and 3, and then I can get the pressure and temperature at point number 3. Okay, for getting pressure and temperature at point 2, we can follow that is isentropic laws over here. Okay, so first what we will do, we'll find out the pressure and temperature at point number 2 and at point number 3 for the first case, which is nothing but the the specific heat is varying with the temperature T. It is varying with temperature T. Okay, so I'll write like case 1 CV varying with temperature T, Okay, so first what I'll do, I'll find out the pressure at point 2 and temperature at point 2. So I'll be applying this particular equation. P2 by P1 is equal to V1 by V2 raised to N. Okay, so this particular law you know. Okay, no need to explain it again. So by putting the values, if you put the values of P1, V1 by V2 is given, it is nothing but 6, N is 1.32 and P1 is 1 bar. From that you'll get the P2, which is equal to, find out what is the value for P2. So for value for P2, okay, will be 10.64 bar. Okay, that is what the answer for P2. Fine. Now we will find the temperature at point number 2. We'll find the temperature at point number 2. Okay, so that is nothing but the T2, temperature T2. Okay, so for finding the this particular temperature at point 2, I'll be using the ideal gas law, that is PV is equal to MRT. Okay, PV is equal to MRT. Okay, so I'll be applying this for the point number 1 and point number 2. So P1 V1 is equal to MRT1. Okay, where R is the constant, M is the constant. M is not going to get changed between 1 and 2. Okay, so the charge whatever taken at point number 1, the same charge is getting compressed to the point number 2. So there is no change in the mass of charge. Okay, so M remains same. M will be same. M remains same. Okay, now we can write these two equation. Okay, as M remains same, so I can write as P1 V1 upon RT1, which is equal to P2 V2 upon RT2. So PV MR is equal to MRT relation we can use. M will remain same. Equating M equation on both sides will get the P1 V1 by RT1 is equal to P2 V2 by RT2. This R will get cancelled again, and then from this we will get the value for temperature T2. Now here we know the P1 value, we know the V1 by V2 value, as well as we know the P2 value. We can get the temperature T2, and that is coming around to be 590.52 Kelvin. So this is the value for temperature at point 2. Okay, this is the temperature at point 2. Now between 2 to 3, if I apply the equation of heat addition, I can get the temperature at point 3. Okay, but for that I need to calculate the heat added. Okay, so I'll be calculating the heat added, and that heat addition I'll be equating to the equation of heat addition. So what is the heat Q? What is heat Q is equal to? That is MC delta T. Okay, MC delta T. So it is the heat added, so I'll be writing at QA. Okay, and M nothing but the mass of a charge, because here the charge is getting burned, air plus fuel. C, I'll writing this M as a MCH, that is mass of charge. Now C, in this particular case the heat is getting added at the constant volume, so I'll be writing MCV delta T. Now this particular delta T, so what will be the delta T over here in this case? So that is QA is nothing but MCH CV into what will be the delta T? That is T3 minus T2. That is T3 minus T2. Now this particular value of CV, okay, the case is considered as the value of CV is changing with the temperature T. Okay, and that equation is given as CV is equal to 0.71 plus 20 into 10 raised to minus 5 T. Okay, this is what the equation given. So we will find the mean CV. Okay, so what will be the procedure to get this particular CV? That is mean value of CV. Okay, how to calculate this mean value of CV? That we will be going for the integration of this particular equation with respect to temperature. So to get the CV as a CV mean, what I'll be doing, integrating this particular equation with respect to temperature. Okay, that is integration. What will be the limit? From where to where this particular heat is getting added for the constant volume? Between 2 to 3. So the limit will be T2 to T3. See why I have gone for the integration over here, because this is not the average value. Okay, this is not the constant CV. CV is not constant over here. It is changing with respect to the temperature. Okay, so that change with respect to temperature we can get it with the integration, and that change is between 2 to 3. Hence I have written the unit as a T2 to T3. Okay, so this is how I'll be going for the finding the CV value. Okay, now can you tell me what will be the equation then? Okay, what will be the integration over here of this particular equation? That is, it is T2 to T3, 0.71 dt plus 20 into 10 raised to minus 5 T dt. So integrating and putting the limits, I'll be getting this as a 0.71. This is what the CV mean I am writing. This is the CV mean. 0.71 T3 minus T2 plus 20 into 10 raised to minus 5 T3 square minus T2 square divided by 2. Okay, this is what the CV mean value we will be getting. Now what we will do, we will find what is the mass of charge. Okay, CV we have got, this is direct given, I'll find the mass of charge, and then I can calculate what is the heat added by the fuel. I'll equate this to, this is the heat added by the fuel per kg of air. I'll find this heat per kg of air, and then I can get what the value of T3 is. Okay, so we will find the mass of charge over here now. Okay, so the mass of total charge per kg of air, MCH, that we will be finding. Now for this I'll be making use of air fuel ratio. Okay, I'll be taking the help of air fuel ratio. This air fuel ratio I know that is 15:1. This is 15:1. Can you tell me what is 15 and what is 1? Yes, 15 is nothing but what? The part of air, and 1 is nothing but the part of fuel. So what is the charge? Charge is nothing but the mixing of air plus fuel. Okay, mixing of air plus fuel. So total charge will be 16 kg. Okay, total charge will be 16 kg, but we want this answer per kg of air. Hence, therefore, MCH is equal to 15 plus 1 divided by 6 divided by 15. Sorry, divided by 15. Okay, so 16 by 15 kg per kg of air. This is what the mass of charge. This is what the mass of charge. Okay, MCH. Okay. Now in this particular equation of Q, that is what Q is equal to MCH CV mean into T3 minus T2. So this is directly given. This is we have calculated. This is we have calculated. We, in terms of equation, obviously I need to get the heat added. Okay, and that heat added is nothing but the heat added by fuel. Heat added by fuel. Now here I am considering the MCH as a per kg of air. So this is also I'll be calculating as a per kg of air. Getting now? This is per kg of air. So this also I have to calculate as a per kg of air. Okay. So for that, first I need to get the equation for heat added. So can you tell me what will be the equation for heat added over here by fuel? Okay, so if I want to get it by fuel, obviously I need to know the mass of fuel. I need to get the mass of fuel. Okay, if I know the mass of fuel, so I'll write like this equation as MF, that is mass of fuel. What I should multiply to the MF to get the this particular value? Yes, that is calorific value of fuel. Calorific value of fuel. Okay, so if you go by the unit, MF will be in kg. Okay, CV will be kilojoule per kg, that is calorific value kilojoule per kg. Kg will get cancelled. This answer will be in kilojoule, that is the heat, but this should be in kg of air. So the MF should be per kg of air. MF should be per kg of air. So we will see how to find the MF as per kg of air. We will find the mass of fuel per kg of air. Okay, again we will make use of the air fuel ratio. Okay, so I am writing like this to get the mass of fuel per kg of air. So as the air fuel ratio given 15:1. So when I was using the 15 part of air or 15 kg of air, that time I was using 1 part of fuel or 1 kg of fuel. That is what the meaning of it. Okay, now if I want to get the mass of fuel per kg of air, it means what? I need to have air as a 1 kg. Air as a 1 kg. In that case, what will be the mass of fuel? That is MF. Do the cross multiplication. We will get mass of fuel as 1 by 15 kg per kg of air. Per kg of air. Okay, so this is the mass of fuel. So now we are having the mass of fuel per kg of air. We have the CV value, so I can get the QA as MF into calorific value, that is 1 by 15 into 44,000. Okay, 1 by 15 into 44,000. So calculate this answer. This answer comes around to be 2933.33 kilojoule per kg of air. per kg of air. Okay, now this QA we can equate it to MCH CV mean into T3 minus T2 into T3 minus T2. Okay, and from that I can get the temperature at point number 3. Okay, so I'll put the values in this particular equation. So the QA is equal to MCH CV mean T3 minus T2. QA is 2933.33 is equal to MCH, that is the mass of charge, which was nothing but 16 by 15. Okay, into CV mean. CV mean equation we already know, 0.71 in T3 minus T2. Okay, plus 20 into 10 raised to minus 5 T3 square minus T2 square divided by 2. Okay, this is what the CV mean into T3 minus T2. Okay, into T3 minus T2. So in this equation T2 is known already, unknown is T3. Put the values of all the things and get what is the temperature at point T3. Get the temperature at point T3. Okay. 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 After getting the temperature at point T3, at point 3, that is T3, I can get the pressure at point 3, that is the maximum pressure. So T3 is the maximum temperature, so I can get the maximum pressure at this particular point by using the Gay-Lussac law. Okay, what this Gay-Lussac law say, that is P3 by P2, between 2 3 I am applying this particular equation, is equal to T3 by T2. Okay, T3 by T2. So this is what Gay-Lussac law. Okay, Gay-Lussac law. Okay, so from this I can get the pressure at point 3, that is P3. Okay, so that pressure, just tell me what the value of P3 is. That will be in bar. Okay, this is what the required answer. This is what the required answer. Okay, this is for the first case, case number 1, when the CV was varying with the temperature T. Now we will go for the second case when the CV is equal to CV is remaining same. Now what the change will be? This will remain same. This will remain same. Instead of this CV mean as this particular equation, I will be putting the CV as 0.71. I'll be putting the value of CV as 0.71 and T3 minus T2 as it is. So from that I can get the T3 value. Okay. So for case 2, the equation will be case 2, that is CV is equal to 0.71. The equation will be 2933.33 is equal to 16 by 15 into 0.71 into T3 minus T2. Okay, from this I can get the value of T3. Okay, again apply the Gay-Lussac law, P3 by P2 is equal to T3 by T2 and get the value of P3. Okay, so this is how that value will be in bar. This is how you will be solving the entire problem. Clear?